back live from the IA Network News. We have a special IA Network News exclusive on some exciting student-led research taking place at U.S. colleges and universities. The University Innovation, or UI project, supports educating the next generation of aeronautical innovators by providing opportunities for university-led teams to conduct research into transformative technology that supports NASA Aeronautics' major research goals. Let's cut over now and learn more about what exciting things UI students are up to. Let's go live to our correspondent.
Hello, and thank you, Steve, for the introductions to this session. And hello, everyone. My name is Mina Capuccio, and I'm the Deputy Manager for the University Innovation Project. The UI project has 4 major portfolio elements, all engage faculty and/or students to do aeronautics research through soliciting proposals via a formal process or competition. The University of Delaware was selected under the ULI solicitation. The project is called Composite Manufacturing Technologies for Aerospace Performance at Automotive Production Rates. And the principal investigator is Professor John Gillespie. Education and workforce development is one of 4 major ULI strategic goals. The university community is the ultimate source of the future aeronautics workforce needed to keep U.S. industry and government in the position of aerospace global leadership. The University of Delaware Center of Composite Materials, CCM, sponsors many outreach activities, including summer research opportunities for students. We're going to meet 3 of these students and find out more about how they got to participate in this ULI activity and the impacts of that participation on their future educational and career decisions. So let's welcome our panelists, Alex, Ivana, and Suraj. So, hi, everyone. Let's start with Alex. Please introduce yourself, when and how you got involved in this ULI opportunity, explain what CCM is, and what is your research focus?
Hey, I'm Alex Berry. I'm a freshman at Cornell University, and I first got involved in the University of Delaware CCM the summer after my junior year after doing a research project with Professor Gillespie. And CCM is essentially the Center for Composite Materials at the University of Delaware, and it just works on research involving composites and other material science-related fields. My research focus in the ULI opportunity this past summer was investigating the adhesive joint properties in continuous carbon fiber to tough carbon fibers. And it's important to investigate because these joints will be used in aerospace and outer space projects, and the joints represent a spot of weakness and vulnerability in the overall part. So it's important to know how they function.
Fantastic, Alex. Ivana, please introduce yourself and when and how you got involved in this ULI opportunity and what was your research focus?
Yeah. Hi, my name is Ivana Mukherjee, and I'm a senior at the Charter School of Wilmington in Wilmington, Delaware. So I got involved in this opportunity by looking on CCM's website and actually seeing that they had a K-12 internship program. Now, I was a little bit later, but I still ended up applying, and I was really lucky to get an offer. So this past summer, I was working on polyethylene fibrils and sort of modeling that using molecular dynamics. So the application of this project is essentially in body armor, where we'll change the orientation of the interfaces to sort of make stronger materials while still using the same amount of materials, which is pretty cool. And I've really enjoyed getting to learn more about the molecular dynamics simulations and how to run them over the past summer.
Thanks. Fantastic. Very interesting research. Suraj, please introduce yourself and when and how you got involved in this ULI opportunity and what was your research focus?
Yeah, of course. So I'm also a Charter School Wilmington senior from Wilmington, Delaware, and I was involved through the CCM this summer, just like Ivana. And I reached out to Dr. Gillespie over email around this time frame And I got set up with a lot of training for this summer to actually produce a research project in molecular dynamics. And it was pretty exciting. I was able to work on how composites adhere to each other at the micro scale. And we're working towards the future of how experimentalists can use such computational models to actually control different atoms and see how that can actually affect their entire results. Because when you're an experimentalist, it's pretty hard to control an entire set of atoms. It's almost impossible. So that's one of the impacts that my work has.
Very interesting. You guys have had a very great opportunities here. So I'm going to ask each one of you, how have you benefited from having this ULI opportunity? Let's start with Ivana.
Sure. So this internship experience has been awesome, and it's been a great opportunity to sort of delve into material science. So I thought I was interested in material science, but as a part of this ULI opportunity, I actually got to go and figure out how exactly to use molecular dynamics simulations, and getting to see the entire research process, I think was also super helpful because we started with literature review and then looking at sort of the different methods and simulations that other papers had used, then starting to think about, okay, where's the research gap and what exactly can we help here, and what new things can we find. So this was really interesting because I got to go through the entire process, and this was certainly a very nice benefit. Another thing that was super awesome was I also got to talk about this project when I applied to college, and it really helped me hone in on exactly what I wanted to do in material science. I know that I'm more interested in molecular dynamics, and so in the future, I will be studying material science engineering in college. So I think that this ULI opportunity has really given me sort of the resources and the experience where I feel confident and comfortable with going into material science in the future. I also think that the sort of way that the program is structured was also really nice because first we got around like 10 to 12 weeks of just working with our mentor and also going through all of the different research aspects of the process. But then towards the end of the summer, we also got to sort of present at a symposium. And this was an awesome opportunity because it sort of mirrors exactly what would happen in the real world where you're going out to different conferences and presenting your research to others. And so having that opportunity to talk with other people who really know the most about your kind of research is a great way to actually get more expertise and more insight on your project. And so after that summer, I've continued at CCM as an intern, and it has been really helpful to sort of gain directives from those interactions that I had with the people coming to my poster, because now I'm able to explore a few more other things that I hadn't thought about before, but who people with a lot more expertise know about. And so it's really nice to be able to be guided by so many experts in the field, but also sort of find your own way and figure out what exactly you want to do. So that's certainly an added benefit, and I really enjoyed my experience.
Sounds like you've made some great networking connections to help you out in the future.
Absolutely.
Suraj, please tell us how this ULI opportunity has benefited you.
Yeah, definitely. So I would say I'm a person with a lot of disparate interests. So I go from one field to another. And this was a really good dive into material science that I probably wouldn't have gotten anywhere else. The CCM was very similar to what I would expect a professional research environment or lab to be. A lot of times in the past, I worked in sometimes a little bit unorganized labs, but I would say the CCM really showed me how organized leadership should be and how there's a very strong process to it. Literature review, like Ivana said, and really going through all the steps to validate your simulations is something that I didn't really expect, but it's something that has really helped me tighten down what I do with research and keep everything super organized. And I'd say overall, even if I don't go into this field, I would say the skills, the technical skills, the paper writing skills would definitely be a huge benefit to me in the future for a career. And I've also been able to meet a lot of amazing people, and a lot of them has given me a lot of advice on what I should study in college, what maybe I should do for my career, and their experiences. So it's really nice to see that there's a lot of mentors in this program that can really provide insight, specifically in the research field.
Sounds like you've learned some great skills to help you out in the future. Alex, what have you benefited from this ULI project?
There's been many things. Well, first off, it really helped me narrow down what I really wanted to study, as I always knew I wanted to do engineering, but after doing this research at the CCM, which is like focused on material science, I narrowed down my options down to like mechanical engineering and material science, which I'm still deciding between in college. And in addition, it helped me learn like how the research process works, how to like set a time frame, how to like network and talk to other people, and also just managing the dynamic in a team of people, who to contact, how to not be too naggy for them to finish things, just like interpersonal connection skills. It really helped with learning those types of skills as well. And it also probably contributed very much to my college application. And I think overall the opportunity was really fun and helped build me as like a researcher.
I have to say congratulations to getting into Cornell University. It's a
Thank you.
wonderful university. So now I'm going to ask you, what has surprised you the most to be part of this ULI opportunity or in the research that you performed? Alex, we'll start with you on that one.
Well, the main thing that surprised me is, especially in this past summer, when I was working on the NASA ULI, was how flexible you need to be as a researcher. Because in the first week of the summer internship, we set a time frame for the summer. We planned out what we would do in each week, what sort of tests we would do. And by, I want to say, like week 2, we had completely revised the whole thing. We found there needed to be like shipments had to made, or like other things we needed to do. And it's just like we had to be flexible the whole summer with things. And it was like, and my boss was telling me like, yeah, this is common, because like you are exploring a new field. No one's been like, you're doing research that no one's ever done before. So like you have to be flexible and willing to like just adapt as you go. And I think that having this experience of just like the whole summer basically needing to just constantly adapt, like really helped me like not get stuck on doing one thing and being able to change based on whatever comes up. And I think that was one of the main skills that I also learned that would be really helpful for the future as well.
Yes, you're learning a lot about what it takes to work on a real live project and developing new technologies. Ivana, what surprised you most about this opportunity and the research that you performed?
I think there were several things. I certainly agree with Alex on looking at sort of the spontaneity of the project and how much persistence was required, because a lot of the times maybe I'd look into something for 2 weeks, but then I'd come up on a dead end because it wouldn't work for my type of molecule. And little like smaller challenges and setbacks like that, but it's being able to keep going. And I didn't realize that there would be so many little things that would sort of be more difficult. But because when you're reading papers, you don't see all of the other, like, I guess, failed examples or failed simulations that they had run beforehand to getting to the final results. So I think that process and pathway was a lot longer than I expected, but also more fruitful because you're going through all those iterations. And so by the time you actually get to the final product, it's definitely a really cool experience to see exactly how that happened, but also why it happened. And I think that iterative process is very important to understanding why certain results happen. But another thing that really surprised me about the opportunity was the access to the level of expertise I had, which was really nice because as I talked to my mentor who knew so much about the topic, it was really accessible and easy to sort of communicate about the topics that I was confused on. So like, for example, if I needed help with the MATLAB script or something maybe was going wrong in LAMPS, which is the simulation software, I think that it really helped being able to sort of communicate very openly with my mentor. And that open line of communication, I didn't expect at first, but I was really happy to have because it made the process so much easier, but also sort of sped up progress as well, because having that open line of communication meant that I was able to learn things quicker. And then also after a while, I would start to sort of troubleshoot my own things, which was really helpful. So I think that evolving process of having an open line of communication, but also more persistence was surprising at first, but now it's definitely helping in terms of completing more and more research.
Yeah, you should never be afraid to ask questions.
Absolutely.
You're so surprised when you what you find out when you start having those kind of communications with others on a difficult topic. All right, and Suraj, what surprised you most about being part of this opportunity and the research possibly that you performed?
Mhm. Yeah, definitely. I would say I've done research for like around 3 years now, and it hasn't always been at the CCM. And I've found that a lot of times you do a lot of busy work when you're doing research, something that you do tasks that aren't super beneficial or crucial to the project. But I'd say when I came to the CCM, I was 100% surprised about how much was in my control and how much I was really like the first author, like the leader of the study. And I had a lot of great mentorship around me to help that happen. For example, it was a lot of, choosing what force fields to use, choosing what simulation software to use. I used LAMPS just like Ivana. And it was pretty interesting to see how all of that worked from a very high level standpoint. And it definitely would help me in my future, because if I'm ever going to be, a leader, maybe a founder of a company, it's definitely interesting to see how much goes into just a single research project and how much really is needed to actually control an entire research project and go through the steps. Like I was helping with, making proposals, sending over grant writing, like things for that, and just helping out with a lot of presentations. And it felt like sometimes it was a little bit stressful, but it definitely felt great to have that responsibility and see that, the CCM, this world renowned institute, has the trust in high schoolers just like me to actually carry out these pretty complex projects. And I was also, very, very surprised to see how much great mentorship there was. I know that in a lot of labs, it's not as big as the CCM, but at the CCM, I had a mentor, Abhishek, who was really close to me. He helped me with a lot of things. He was always there when I, sent over an email, and he was a really great person with a lot of expertise. And I would say that in a lot of other labs, you might not find that, but at the CCM, there's like a great level of like mentorship that came with almost every step. And I would say I really benefited from that and the responsibility that I got.
Yeah, mentors are wonderful, and you should always keep in touch with them because they will help you throughout your education and careers. So now I'd like to ask a question of Alex. What inspired you throughout this opportunity, and what have you done to inspire others?
So starting with what inspired me was I knew I always wanted to go into engineering, but seeing the people who are like me who entered while they were at high school, they were doing research, and now are in college as seniors, and they're guiding me on this path, like the people just working with me in the lab and helping me out. It really like they were like role models to me. Like they were where I wanted to be in 4 years, like continuing doing research in the field of engineering, and it like just seeing them do it and like them guiding me, they were such like positive role models to me, and it really inspired me to like put effort in and like try my like put my best work in at the work I was at the opportunity I was given. And some way I have inspired others was this past summer there was a aerospace summer camp program at the like hosted by the University of Delaware, and I help volunteer and run stations and help show them and demonstrate like certain labs, certain tests done by Instron machines, and I just helped run a station. And just seeing all of the younger kids interested in aerospace was just such a good experience for me as well, as it really reminded me of like how much I liked helping other people as well.
Fantastic. Yeah, it's always good to give back so that you're doing a good thing, and you'll keep doing that throughout your lifetime. So Siraj, I have a question for you. What advice would you give to a student in high school for pursuing their passion?
Mm, Yeah, of course. I would like to answer this question maybe in like a two-part answer, a bit more specific and a little bit more general. I would say for any passion that you have, whether it be research or anything else, like maybe a side project, I would definitely say reach out to anyone you can who's in the field or who you see in your community. I've had some experience with that where I've just cold emailed a lot of people and tried to get some mentorship. And it's been really useful for me. I've been able to find a lot of great people who have set me on a path to really find my passion. And one of the things that I felt like I did and I felt like I fell in a little trap of was thinking a lot about the stuff I was doing. Like I was like, okay, I'm gonna make this plan to do this project in this time frame. But I would probably just say to any high schooler or any student in high school trying to find what their passion is, I would just say just do it. Just go out and try to do it in your school, or just try to do it however you can. In the internet is pretty vast. Like if you want to learn computer science, I would just definitely say, don't waste a lot of time making a full blown out schedule. Just go into it and kind of get things done and find out if that's really what you like. And I'll definitely say that's something I wish I didn't in the past versus, scheduling a lot of things and trying to plan for that versus actually doing things. And my second point would be for research. So before I worked at the CCM, I had a lot of trouble actually finding research positions. And I feel like research is one of those things that you can actually act on your passion through, because oftentimes it doesn't come at a cost to you. It comes at a cost to the university that you're working with. So it's very accessible to a lot of people. And I would say it's a great way to really find the passion that you have for higher education and maybe academia. And I would say one of the big things within research, if your local university doesn't have amazing program like the CCM, they have a K to 12 program that really helps funnel people in from high school, then cold emails is really the way to go. And I would not get discouraged by how many cold emails you send, because it really only takes one person to give you a chance to really change your life. Like, for example, I sent about maybe 100 cold emails in my time, and I've gotten 3 internships, including the CCM. And while that might not seem like a great hit rate, I would definitely say that it pays off a lot. You learn a lot of different things, and I would definitely say just don't get discouraged if anything doesn't work out for you, and just keep on pushing and um, really push to find other people in your area and people who you can look up to and really get inspired by.
Fantastic advice. Ivina, do you have any advice that you might want to give to students in pursuing their dreams?
Yeah, sure. So I think certainly in the beginning of high school, I really did not know what I wanted to do at all, basically. And so I think my biggest piece of advice would be to try everything, um, obviously to whichever extent you can. But I think like allowing myself to sort of test out everything that I wanted to do, like maybe if I was interested in sports or if I was interested in music. Or if I was interested in science, seeing if there are just as many opportunities as you can. And I would certainly say, yes, I agree with Siraj. Don't go and like make a plan. But if you're able to just find opportunities or just spend a little bit of time doing some research into what other people have done into like the type of thing that you're interested in, I certainly think that's a great way to get started. But also just don't be afraid to try new things. And even if you don't think you'll like something from the get-go, dynamics can change. Like the people on the team can change. There's a lot of different factors in that activity or your passion that can change in the future. And I think as you put more time into something, you'll realize whether you want to do it. And I think a great way to test this, I guess, if you're passionate about something is after maybe doing homework for 2 hours, would you still go and do it? And I think having that drive or that passion that's innate and something that you sort of discover through just trying out other things is a great way to sort of figure out what exactly you're interested in. And so when you're going forward, I would certainly say just start off by casting a wide net, seeing what exactly you like. And then as you're starting to go further into it, see if as you're delving deeper, do you like that? And do you want to continue pursuing it? I think that's probably the best way to just continue pursuing your passions. And don't be afraid to take a little bit of time to sort of think about what opportunities or what, I guess, almost path you see for yourself in that field. And certainly looking at role models or mentors is also another great place to start and see what they did. So I would certainly say sort of do some exploration at the get-go. And I think that really pays off in the long term.
Fantastic advice. Well, I want to thank all of you, Alex, Ivina, and Siraj, for sharing insights on how students can get involved in research early in their educational career and how it can shape decisions that you make for your future. I wish you all the best. Please keep in touch with us and let us know where you end up career-wise. I hope you will inspire those listening to follow in your footsteps. Steve, back to you.